Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And today I have my November 2020 Paper Pumpkin Alternatives for you. It's a kit that is meant to make gift card holders and small cards, and of course if you follow me at all you know that I only make full-size cards out of the material that's given to me. And in this kit I'm going to make actually quite a few. I need quite a few gift card holders this year, only because of COVID. I'm not going out shopping much, so I'm in need of some gift card holders, so I'm going to use my kit mostly to do that. But I did come up with 5 cards for you, and so let's just get started. Here is the paper pumpkin this time, and it's called Jolly Gingerbread November 2020. And so this one is meant to make gingerbread houses, and let me show you some of the material. This is what it's meant to make. There are materials in here for 15 cards, and there's envelopes in here to match, and they can easily be made into gift card holders, and they're really very cute. And they've got 2 or 3 different kinds of houses that you can make here, and I'll show you well, let's see, some of these I'll show you the material and then it'll make more sense. Okay, so this is the kind of material that's in here. These are fronts for your gingerbread houses, and there are 2 or 3 different kinds of gingerbread houses. There's all kinds of different house fronts as well. There's a bunch of those, like 15 of them. And then there's these houses, and these with a little bit of different roofing here, and then this one which is different again. And I think the way that these are meant to be is if you want to make a card, you just cut off this flap that's here on the front and you fold it over, and you've got a cute little gift card. I've seen people punching holes in the top here and putting some ribbon around it and making it a gift tag, also for Christmas. And in order to make this a gift card holder, what you'd have to do is put a little bit of glue right along the bottom here, and you might use tear and tape for that, and the same thing to put some glue along this flap. Then you would fold that over and close this up, and then you would be able to stick your gift card right inside here. And then you would decorate the outside of it with one of these little house fronts, and there's different ones that have different kinds of decorations here at the top. And then you punch out the door, and you put this up on dimensional so that it gives it a little bit of lift, and there you've got this cute gingerbread house gift card. And like I said, I need a bunch of them this year. So I'm probably going to use a lot of my kit to do those. Also, let's see, the stamp set. The stamp set this time has, let's see, let me get a decent sized piece of paper here. There we go. It has happy holidays, more merry, a sweet treat for you, because you could easily slip like a chocolate or 2 in there. Wishing you a jolly Christmas with love and joy. And then there's this little gingerbread house, and then a bunch of these swirly stamps here. And I think that this stamp here is intended to go over the door, and then this stamp goes up here and frames whatever the little decoration is here. And I haven't made any of the tags yet. I haven't had time with this being Thanksgiving week. But it's a nice size stamp set. Got lots of bits and pieces in it. The other thing it has is a bunch of tags. Here they are in the different colors. There's Mint Macaron, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and then in the doors here, there's some shaded spruce. And so some combination of all of those is what people have done to make their little gift cards. Now, another thing that comes, of course, with your dimensionals and your glue dots is this bit of gold cord. Very pretty. And I'll show you what it was I did with this kit. Probably the card that is most like the kit is this one. We'll call it card number 1. And I stamped around the door. I stamped up above. I did put a little piece of Daffodil Delight behind this piece because I thought it looked like a window and I wanted it to look like there was light on in. So what I did on this one was I used this stamp. It's kind of a scrolly stamp, and I stamped all around the edges of this piece. This is the other color that coordinates with this, and that's cinnamon cider. So what I did was I cut a piece of cinnamon cider that is 4.5 by 5.5, so it's like a full sheet. Then I put this piece of Whisper White on the inside of it, and then put my little card, so this is the part that opens. And there's plenty of room to put a message on that, and it ends up being the size of a full-size card. And the other thing that was in here are these gem items. There's also some tear and tape in here, but these that look like little candies for the gingerbread house. I ended up not using very many. I used 3 on this one, and that's all I used on the kits. So that is card number 1, and it gives you a small card opening, and it's very cute to put Happy Holidays up here at the top. So that is card number 1. Card number 2 is I took apart one of the envelopes that comes with this. Actually, I've taken several of them apart. Here's another one. Let me show you the envelope. The envelopes are like this, and they've got this striped material on the inside, and then it's got this pretty little framed box here on the front. So what I did was I just trimmed it with my trimmer and cut off the edges and the top and the bottom, and just came away with this framed piece. And I used, again, that same stamp, this one, and I stamped it once going up and once coming down, and then used one of the labels that they gave me and put "With Love" across the front of this. And this is a standard size A2 white base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4.25. Then this piece is a Calypso Coral, because that's this color in the envelope, and it's 4 by 5.25, and I cut another one 4 by 5.25. Now I used that same stamp. Here I went up and down, and on the inside I went corner to corner, and I made this one a birthday card, and that is from Here's a Card. But any birthday card or any congratulations or thank you would be lovely inside there. And it's all done in Calypso Coral for the ink and the backing paper, and then the layering here as well. So that is card number 2. Card number 3 is somewhat similar in that the other stamp that's in here is this one. And this stamp is meant to go around, like I did on this one, around these doors to give you that gingerbread kind of look. Well, I got to thinking about that, and so I stamped one going this way and one going this way and made this frame. And then I needed a big sentiment to go in the middle, so I used, again, from Here's a Card, I used the congratulations, and then I used a couple of things. I used my 2020 in color enamel dots in cinnamon cider, and that's what I stamped this one in. I used the Calypso Coral in the back and then to stamp the congratulations, but my other stamping on here is done in cinnamon cider. And what I did was I used my marker and I colored in some of the little pieces, the hearts. Oh, I see one that I missed, that little dot right there. But I colored in the dots in a few of the little pieces to make it look a little bit more finished. And then I used some of those cinnamon cider dots on the front of the card. On the inside, I just did the Calypso Coral and I put the little flourishes in the corners. So Calypso Coral for my message here, and the rest of the stamping in cinnamon cider. And on the inside, I did the reverse. I did the stamping in Calypso Coral. So that is what I did for my card number 3. And these are pretty clean and simple little cards. They were a bit of a challenge for me this time. This one is maybe my favorite. And what I did was I used the mint macaron. So I used a white, whisper white base. And then I used a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of mint macaron, both on the inside and the outside. And then I took that twine and I laid down some glue on the back side of this at the top and the bottom. And I just started wrapping that around, going different ways, just to get the gold look across this card. Then I scotch taped my ends down on the back on the ends for when I started and when I ended. Then I set this up on dimensionals, and I used some of the dimensionals to go over cord various places on the back to help hold things in place. Then this ends up being, I'm not even sure. Let me see if I can tell you. I think that the green is, 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. Yes, 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. And then this white piece is 4 by 1. And this Merry Christmas I embossed in gold powder to match the gold cord. It's a very simple card, but I just love the way this one came out. And I used the Merry Christmas from the poinsettia petals. And you can use any Merry Christmas you have. Just cut your tag to be exactly the size that you want it. And then I used a couple of gilded gems here. And on the inside, I layered the 2 pieces and then just did some funky wrapping here with that gold cord. And that one is card number 4. Card number 5, I went back to and used the little house, but I stamped my house. So I stamped my house on a piece of white cardstock, and then I used my markers to go in and fill in a little bit, and then I did use my blends to do the yellow in the windows. I started to do one color and changed my mind, so this is, I think, Daffodil Delight, which matches the cards in here. I did this on a cinnamon cider base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and then I ran my white panel here in the back through the what is it called? Let's see. It is called the Evergreen Forest 3D folder. And that gave this a little landing space, a little context, having these gingerbread houses, at least in the fairy tales, are out in the forest. So I decided to give it a forest behind it. And then I just selectively colored a few little pieces in this to make it look a little bit more complete, and put that up on dimensionals. And then I cut off the top of one of these houses and added it to the top of my stamped house, which you'll see is actually not quite so tall and doesn't have the pointed roof. And I like the pointed roof. So I cut that piece out, and that is all up on dimensionals. On the inside of this one, it's just a white panel, 4 by 5 1/4. Then I stamped part of my house here and cut off another one to get another one of the other half of this card and put the house on here and just laid it down flat, cut it off so that it would fit in here. And so that is my decoration for the inside. And then I stamped my Happy Holidays right here on the front of the card. Mine isn't very straight, so I'll probably end up stamping it again on a piece of white cardstock and cutting out just a little label to fit over that. But those are my 5 alternatives. Not very much like the kit this time, but I think that those gift card holders are really cute. And like I said, I need a bunch of them, so I'm going to do that. But here's some alternative. Here's some different things that you can do. You could do this in the mint macaron. You could do it with the shaded spruce. You could do it with the cinnamon cider. The same thing with these little houses. You could color them in with any of the complementary colors here, and any color combination that you wanted to do on this will work. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. Joining Stampin' Up! Is always a good idea. $125 worth of product for $99, and you start out with a 20% discount. My contact information is always listed below the video. Give me a call anytime, and I will talk you through what it takes and how it works, and be happy to do that. We're getting ready for the new January to June catalog. The new catalogs will be dropping in the mail, I think starting the 9th of December, and you're just going to love them. They've just got some beautiful things, and that'll be we're going to end up with 2 celebrations next year, so that'll be our first celebration in January and February. Biggest sale of the year for Stampin' Up! So that's it for me. I'll be back soon with more cards, more tips, and more projects. Bye!